Hello, everybody, and welcome to my Mathemagic YouTube channel. Yay! Here, I'll be showing you how to solve grade 5 math word problems using the very simple Singapore math modeling methods. So, sit tight as we take off. Here is the first problem. There are 265 men and women at a football match. There are 39 fewer men than women. So, how many men are there? So, feel free to pause the video to try to resolve the question on your own, and later on you can resume the video to see if your solution is correct. We have a total of 7 questions in this video, and you can feel free to pause them at any point in time. So let's have a look at how is it that we can solve this problem using models. So the whole trick to using models is to understand the question in terms of blocks. So we have two blocks here, men and women. But no, there's something wrong over here because there are 39 fewer men. So there are 39 more women than men. So the women box actually has to be larger than the men box. And in total, this will be 265 people at the football match. And this box over here obviously is 39, as the question says. So if we label these as 1 unit each, because obviously they are equal in value, if you eliminate 39, this value and this value will actually be equal. So you have 1 plus 1 unit, which is 2 units. They're actually 265 minus 39, which gives you 226. So 2 units equals to 226. So 1 unit will be 226 divided by 2, which will give you 113. So that will be 1 unit. And what is the question? How many men are there? So number of men equals to 1 unit, which is equals to 113. Ta-da! Next question. A mug is 1/3 filled with water. Sam pours all the water into a bottle which has a volume twice that of the mug. What fraction of the bottle is filled with water? So again, we draw blocks to understand the question in terms of blocks. So a mug will be one block, bottle will be another block. But first, let's try to understand the block of water. The water block for the mug. So 1/3 is actually filled with water. So you break it up into 3 and 1/3 is filled with water. So that is for the mug. And how about the bottle? Can I just draw one block like this? No, I can't because the bottle is actually twice the size of the mug. So it actually has to be 2 times. So if I were to divide the size of the bottle's block into equal sizes with the mug's block, so each block of the bottle would also be the same size as each block of the mug, then that leads me to have 6 units in the bottle, and 1/3 of the mug is actually equivalent to 1/6 of the bottle in terms of size. I mean, you can compare the size over here. So fraction of the bottle that is filled with water is actually 1/6. Next question. David jogged 2,300 meters on Saturday. On Sunday, he jogged 650 meters less than on Saturday. On Monday, he jogged 1,550 meters more than on Sunday. How long did he jog on Monday? So Saturday, 2,300 meters. That's on block. And Sunday is actually 650 meters less than on Saturday. So the Sunday's block should actually be smaller than Saturday's block. So a smaller block. And this difference over here would actually be what? Yes, 650 meters. And on Monday, it is actually 1,550 meters more than on Sunday. So this part over here should be 1,550 meters. So how long did he actually jog on Monday? Let's try to understand this. Sunday's jogging distance is actually 2,300 meters minus 650. So that will give you this distance, and that is 1,650 meters. And this block, because of this line here, you understand that it's actually the same size as the block over here. So that will also be 1,650 meters. And over here you have 1,550 meters. So if you add these two up, you actually get the distance that David jogged on Monday. That will be 3,200 meters. Except the question asks for the answer in kilometers and meters. So 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. So you have to divide 3,200 meters by 1,000 in order to get the answer in kilometers. That will give me 3 kilometers and 200 meters. Next question. I hope you're enjoying this video. And now we move on to the next question. Timothy has twice as many erasers as Steve. Steve has twice as many erasers as David. So there are three people over here. Together they have 189 erasers altogether. So how many erasers does David have? That's part A, and part B is if they shared the erasers equally, how many erasers would each boy have? So Timothy, let's draw a block for Timothy. And for Steve, let's draw a block. So how big must Steve's block be? Timothy has twice as many erasers as Steve. So Steve's block should be half the size of Timothy's. That is half the size. And Steve has twice as many erasers as David. So David's block should be half the size of Steve's. Okay? And together they have 189 erasers altogether. So that is 189. So you notice I drew this line here to show that this is 1 and this is 2 times David's, and this is actually 2 times of this. And I have broken it down further into 4 so that each unit is the same size of David's, because David is actually the lowest common factor. So I tried to make it equal, try to make every unit equal. So now if you want to find how many erasers David has, you realize that there are actually a total of 7 units over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 units are equal to 189 erasers. So 1 unit equals to 189 divided by 7. So and that is also the number of erasers that David has. So David actually has 189 divided by 7, which gives you 18 divided by 7 is 2, remainder 4, 49 divided by 7 is 7. So 27. So now if they shared the erasers equally, how many erasers would each boy have? So if this 189 was divided equally, so it will be just divided by 3 boys. So 189 divided by 3 gives you 63. So each boy will have 63 erasers. Moving on to the next question. John spent 3/5 of his money on books and 1/3 of the remainder on a wallet. If John had $16 left, how much did he have at first? So when you have two different types of fractions, like two different types of denominators, this question would most probably require you to use lowest common multiple or lowest common factor, one of it. Highest common factor, highest common factor or lowest common multiple, LCM or HCF. So John has so much of money. He spent 3/5. So I broke up this block into 5 pieces. 3/5 has been spent on books. 1/3 of the remainder. So the remainder is 2 units, but I have to now break it down to 3. Right? 3, 1, 2, 3. And 1/3 of this remainder is spent on a wallet. So I'm just drawing an extra one over here, just the same one. I'm extrapolating it to put it over here so that it's easier, it's clearer to see. Yeah, so 1/3 of this has been spent on a wallet. Actually, if it helps, you can also write it down, that this part is books. Okay, I'm not good at writing here. And this part is wallet, just put as a W. Okay, so you know that this is books and this is wallets. Okay, and he has $16 left. So this part is actually $16, right? So if he has $16 left, how much did he have at first? So this one is 2 units, right? Because this part he says 1/3 is spent on a wallet. So this is 2 units. So 2 units equals to $16. So 1 unit equals to $8. So 3 units, which will be this part here, whole part here, will be equals to $8 times 3, $24. Okay, so this is $24, right? But originally he said spent 3/5 of the money on books. So this is 3/5 and this is 2/5. So this 2/5 is also equals to $24, right? Because we're talking about the same area. So this is 2/5, or you can just call it 2 big units, because these are the small units, and then I can just differentiate it and call it as 2 big units. They are $24. So one big unit will be $24 divided by 2, which will give me $12. So amount John had at first will be 5 big units. So 5 times $12 gives me $60. So how much he had at first would actually just be this whole area he had at first, which is made up of 5 big units, right? These are the original big units. Don't look at the dotted lines, just the straight lines. And that is $12 times 5, $60. I hope you attempted this question on your own as well and managed to do it. So now we have not ended here. We still have about 2 or 3 more questions to go. So let's move on. Sally had $481 more than her brother. She spent 5/8 of her money, and her brother spent 4/9 of his money as a gift for their mother. In the end, Sally and her brother had the same amount of money left. So how much money did her brother have at first? So let's draw a block for Sally. She spent 5/8 of her money, and her brother has another block. So why is Sally's block bigger? It's because she actually has $481 more than her brother. So this extra segment jutting out is $481. And you divide this entire rectangle into 8 blocks. Why? Because she spent 5/8 of her money, so we want to just break it up so that you know that she has 3/8 of her money left. So this part will be left, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is not really a unit. Okay, this is more like just to show that this is the point where her brother's amount and her amount actually cut off, and the $481 starts from here. Okay, so 5/8 is spent, and this part I shaded it off, and her brother spent 4/9 of his money. So let's break his box into his rectangle into 9 parts, and he spent 4/9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, we shade that part. So he has 5/9 left, 5/9, and she has 3/8 left. So the thing is that 3/8 of Sally's money and 5/9 of her brother's money are actually equal. So 3 units are equals to 5 units. How is that possible? How do you make that really equal? 3 and 5. Well, what is their lowest common multiple? 3 and 5, the lowest common multiple is actually 15. So that 3 units, you can make it into 15. You multiply it by 5. And this 5 units, you can make it into 15 by multiplying it by 3. So this has 4 units. So you multiply it by 3 and you get 12 units. And similarly, here you multiply 5 units by 5 and you get 25 units. So this is 25 units and this is 12 units. And this is $481. So how many units will this be? 13 units, because 25 minus 12 is 13. So 13 units equals to $481. So 1 unit equals to $481 divided by 13, and that gives you $37. And now that you know that 1 unit is $37, you want to know how much money her brother had at first. So 15 units plus 12 units gives you 27 units, and that is 27 units is what he has. So the thing is that do not get confused. Don't say it's 5 units and 4 units and you multiply it by 37. No, it will actually be 15 plus 12, 27 units. You multiply it by $37 because every unit is $37. And so you get the amount of money brother has is $999. Okay, so it's easy to get confused, to make careless mistakes. So you have to be really sure and do it slowly so that you don't make careless mistakes. Next question. Jim and Brandon had an equal number of cards at first. After Jim bought 147 cards and Brandon gave away 57 cards, Jim had 4 times as many cards as Brandon. So how many cards did Brandon have at first? So let's draw a block, a rectangle for Jim and Brandon. I make it equal because they had an equal number of cards at first. So Jim went ahead to buy 147 cards. Brandon gave away 57 cards. So after this happened, Jim ended up having 4 times as many cards as Brandon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 times as many cards as Brandon. So how many cards did Brandon have at first? So don't get confused and say 2 units equals to 147. No, I have purposely put it such that the 1 unit starts over here. It's not that 2 units equals to 147. So number of cards Jim originally had equals to 4 units minus 147 because this is what he had initially, right? Just the dark blue part. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. You minus this extra parts. This number of cards Jim had originally. Number of cards that Brandon had originally is 1 unit plus 57 cards. So, and they had an equal number of cards at first. So which means Jim and Brandon originally had the equal number of cards. So 4 units minus 147 cards is equal to 1 unit plus 57 cards. So let's not confuse ourselves and let's just see. 4 units minus 147 cards is equals to 1 unit plus 57 cards. How do I make sense of this? So why not I just keep this as 57 cards? So maybe that will help me out. So 1 unit plus 57 cards, how do I make it into just 57 cards? I minus 1 unit from here. If I minus something on the one side, I have to minus something from the left side as well. So 4 units minus 147 cards, I minus 1 unit. 1 unit plus 57 cards, I minus 1 unit. I actually get 4 units minus 1 unit is 3 units. So 3 units minus 147 cards gives me 1 unit minus 1 unit is 0 units. So it just leaves me with 57 cards. So 3 units minus 147 cards equals to 57 cards. But hey, what am I supposed to understand after this? I want to know 1 unit. I want to know how many cards 1 unit is equal to. So maybe I can make this into just units. How do I do that? I can add 147 cards here. If I do that, then this will become just 3 units. So let me just add no space. So let me go on to a new page. So 3 units minus 147 cards, I add 147 cards. So if I add something on the left, I have to add something on the right. So 57 cards plus 147 cards. So this leaves me with just 3 units equals to 57 plus 147 equals to 204. So 3 units equals to 204 cards. So 1 unit equals to 68 cards. So number of cards that Brandon originally had is actually 1 unit plus 57 cards because that is what was written in the earlier slide as well. So 1 unit plus 57 cards equals to 68 cards plus 57 equals to 125 cards. That is one number of cards that Brandon had at first. And that's all we have. That's all the questions that I have. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you comment if you have any doubts about the work that was done here. If you have any new questions that you would like me to answer, please feel free to comment them. Don't forget to like and subscribe this video. Thank you. Bye bye.